Hey, for today's practice, we're grounding through the basics. So you'll want to have with you 2 yoga blocks, a blanket, and a yoga strap. Let's get started. To begin, we're going to start in tabletop. So you can place your fingers wide away from one another on the mat and just see that your wrist is underneath your shoulders and your knees are right underneath your hips. You can inhale, lift your head, heart, and tail. And then as you exhale, round your spine, pulling it up towards the ceiling and drawing your hips back to your heels. Bend elbows, come forward, breath in. Exhale, round the spine and pulling it back. Feel your own body moving through space. Inhale, draw forward. Feel the stretch through the abdomen, the front line, and as you exhale, feel the tailbone dropping so that the back can stretch. So in one way, we stretch the front of the body. Last one, come forward. And when we move into the other direction, we stretch the back body. Good, and then return your knees to center. And what we'll do here is roll over your toes so that you're pressing the toe pads into the floor and the heels of your feet are moving back. If you have the flexibility, maybe the balls of your feet are on the floor. They might not be, but that's okay. Wherever it is, it is. The important thing here is that you engage your core and then you lift your knees off of the floor and continue to move them. Legs back and straight, separate your feet. They might be hip width distance. They might be bigger than hip width distance. It's all good. Relaxing through the sides of the neck. That's it. Take a big breath in. And maybe you shake your head side to side, encouraging the letting go of stress or strain or obligations. And instead just landing right here into this moment. You, your mat, your breath, so important. So you can bend one knee and straighten out the other if that feels good for your body, or you can remain more static in the pose. Your heels are slightly away from one another, so they're turning slightly towards the edges of the mat. We'll take another big breath in. And then as you exhale, come up onto the balls of the feet, bend your knees deeply, look up to the top, and with your core engaged, step one foot and then the other. Feet are hip width distance, top of the mat, halfway lift, or you could have like a quarter of the mat, whatever feels right for you. So in the halfway lift, you're tipping forward. It's half of a forward fold. So it's Ardha Uttanasana. So you're halfway lift, so a forward fold, your weight is into the balls of the feet, and then exhale into your forward fold. Your knees can continue to be bent. It's a lovely situation for the low back when we bend our knees, so the low back doesn't have to feel pulled or tugged. It just has an ease to it, which of course is the deeper level of what we're cultivating on the mat. Inhale, halfway lift, full breath. Exhale, forward fold, dropping it away. Inhale, halfway lift, big breath. Exhale, one more time, dropping it down. And then hands to your hips, bend deeply into the knees, drawing your elbows towards one another. They won't reach, spoiler, but you're moving in that direction. Keep the core engaged. They'll never reach, by the way, unless you move your hands. But what we're doing, can you feel that broadens through the collarbones? So there's an openness there. Let your feet be relaxed. Your sitting bones move back. And then with your core lengthening you upward, feel the top of the head reaching to the ceiling. Both arms reach up. Inhale, look up, gravitate upwards. And exhale, forward folds. Your arms can come out alongside you, or you can have your arms at your heart. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, come to a high plank. We'll do this first one with knees down. You could do all of them with knees down if you like. So knees down, tops of the feet down. You're gonna draw the elbows back, broaden through the collarbones, and then inhale, lifting your heart into your upward dog. Your tailbone's heavy. And then from here, you can feel this is like your the cow variation of cat and cow. There's a stretch of the abdomen. And then as you move back into downward facing dog, you're lengthening through your back. Keep your core engaged. Downward dog. Big breath here. And let the breath go. Now let's join our feet towards one another, closer to your hands, and then go ahead and send that right leg straight back. So you're lengthening through the left leg as you lengthen through the right, peeling back with the top of the left hip, push back with the right heel. You can stay here, you can float the right leg higher, bend the right knee, and open through the hip if that feels okay for you. And then joining core, knee, come forward, high plank, right foot is on the floor. Move your left foot slightly left or your right foot slightly right. You're creating a bigger base for yourself so you can sweep your arms up into your crescent lunge. Arms come upward. Inhale, crescent lunge. Breathe. Floating the lower ribs, moving them gently towards the frontal hip bones. The upper ribs, especially the first rib, is moving upwards towards the top of the shoulders. Arms can elevate. One more breath. Inhale. And exhale. We'll come to a high plank. Keep the core with you. Low plank, with or without your knees. Move your toes back. Upward dog. Inhale. Knees can be on the floor. Thighs can be on the floor, or knees and thighs off the floor. And downward facing dog. Breath and breath. So we find that moment in between the inhale and the exhale to reside, to live. One more breath here. Exhale it out. Bring your feet a little closer to one another, and then float that left leg straight back. The right hip will try to pull itself forward. What you want to do is draw that right hip back a little more, right leg back. You can move your hands back a little more, and then floating that left leg up if you like. Bend the left knee so you're opening through the hips, and then close the hips up. Draw your shoulders over your wrists and plant that left foot on the floor. Before you come up to your crescent lunge, widen the base, just like we did on the other side. Engage your core. These are your tickets to ride. And then both arms up to the ceiling. She's got a ticket to ride right here in crescent lunge land. Reaching your arms upward, dropping your tailbone down, and letting the energy of release be a piece of this important pose that releases the hip flexor, draws our attention inward. One more full breath. Inhale and exhale. Both hands are down to the floor. It's high plank. Elbows squeeze back. Low plank. Upward dog breath. And downward facing dog as you breathe out. Inhale and exhale. Right foot steps forward. Now we're going to drop that back foot. So the heel of the back foot lines up with the heel of the right foot. That's your classic alignment. And the toes of the left foot are looking up at the top of the left corner of the mat. Then arms are lifting you up. Your core is holding you stable and steady. You have a warrior one here. You're breathing into it. Notice if there's any tension in the feet, letting it go. And then hands come right to your heart. You'll open it out, warrior two. So here, your right heel, classic alignment, lines up with the left inner arch. Finger bones move away from one another. You strengthen your back, strengthen your arms, strength, but it's a soft strength. So it's not aggressive or pushing, it's really a very soulful connection to breath. Then reverse the warrior. So the right palm spins to the ceiling and we reach up and back, stretching open through the side body, tailbone's heavy. And then exhale, high plank. Core is with you, low plank. Inhale, reach the heart upward. And exhale, downward facing dog. Big breath here. And letting the breath really soothe you on the exhale. Stay connected to the breath. You can have your eyes open or closed. And if they're open, you're finding one place to land them. And then the left foot, warrior one. Drop the right heel back. Sweep both arms up, so same alignment. Right heel looking to the top right corner and the arms elevate. And we lift. And feel energy rising from our feet through our legs, abdomen, torso, all the way up through the heart, the throat. The back of the eyes relax, the back of the head, soft and protected. Top of the head reaches up, and then hands to your heart, and it's opening, warrior two. Reaching your arms away, and feeling through wherever you feel this is lengthening and releasing. That's great, stay there, 3 more breaths. Last one, inhale. Exhale, reverse, it's up and back. Feeling those side ribs, really nice. And then it's a high plank. So we're gonna go again, we'll do the whole system again with the warrior one, low plank, and 2, and reverse. Upward face and downward facing dog. Big breath here. So bend your knees. We'll start at the top, walk or spring to the top of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Utkatasana. So send your hips back and your shins back. And then lift both arms, Utkatasana, placing your arms upward. And then forward fold, placing your arms down. Inhale, a halfway lift. Exhale, high plank. Low plank, upward dog, breathe. Downward dog, breathe out. Inhale, get your bearings. Exhale. No breath in you. We'll step the right foot forward. Warrior one. Inhale, rise. Exhale, hands to heart and opening. Warrior two. Reverse the warrior. Up and back. Exhale, high plank, low plank, good, upward dog breath, and downward facing dog as you breathe out. Inhale, exhale. Left foot, when you're ready, we step it forward, then you inhale, warrior one, then you exhale, warrior two. Reverse the warrior, up and back, side stretch, and exhale, high plank, low plank, inhale, reach the heart. Squeeze the glutes, but have the toes go straight back, and then downward facing dog. Breath comes in, breath goes out. Right foot again, warrior one, inhale, lift up. Exhale, warrior two. Reverse, inhale, up and back. And exhale, high plank. Core with you, low plank. Upward dog, soft and easy. And downward facing dog. So even though we're doing more movement, you can still have your energy be soft and easy and purposeful. Left foot steps, warrior one, rising, warrior two, exhale. Reverse, inhale, up and back. And then this time, we're gonna turn, so our toes are facing inward, you're facing the long end of the mat, toes are slightly in, heels are slightly out. Inhale, and engage your fingertips behind you. So you're gonna do a finger lock behind you. So you're interlacing your hands. Lift up through the chest, bend at the knees, core stays engaged, and you pitch forward and down. Reaching your arms up and over your head. Breathing here. Shaking any tension out of the sides of the neck. Breath in, breath out. Inhale. Release the hands, place them down. Take a full breath in as you elevate the chest. So now your chest is parallel to the floor. And then as you exhale, you're going to spin, pivot, right foot faces forward. You're in a runner's lunge on the right side. Drop down through the left knee, coming into a King Arthur on the right side. King Arthur stretch, very good for the psoas. So you'll draw your hips forward, right thigh, your hand is on the right thigh, and then go ahead and lift the left arm up. Squeeze the glutes, holding here, and you can even take hold of the belly of the left forearm and draw over your ear. Really allowing your body to stretch into this. If it in any way makes your left knee tender, you can always pop a blanket underneath the left knee for comfort. One more big breath. Inhale. Exhale. We're going to come out of that. Roll over your left toes. Left hand is down. Take your right hand on the outer part of the right knee for a moment as you extend your chest forward. Now you can put a block underneath your left hand. That might be really more comfortable. So just explore, play with what works for you. You're finding that zone where you get the most from the practice, but it's not overtaxing. And then go ahead and turn to the right. So it's a twist. You can always float the right arm up or place it on your hip. Use the elbow as a guide or fingertips lifting upward for 3. Pressing through the ball of the left foot. 2. Last one. Inhale. Exhale. Both hands are down. You can move the block out of the way. Draw yourself back to a high plank. Drop both knees down. Child's pose. 2 breath. Moving your hips to your heels. Widen your knees so that there's space in between them. And then coming back up, this time we'll do King Arthur on the other side. So your left foot comes forward, you're dropping the tailbone, and you're pulling forward as if you had a magnet drawing the right side of the hip flexor towards the wall in front of you. Left hand can be on the left thigh, pushing it forward, and then the right arm is up. And breathe here. And if you want to extend it, you can draw the forearm over the ear. Maintain the glutes squeezing. That really allows the psoas to let go. Two more breaths. Inhale. Last one. Inhale. Nice, and exhale, both arms up, coming down, hands on either side of the left foot, roll over your right toes, right knee is off the floor, you're in a beautiful lunge. You can replace that block on the inside of your left foot, and your left hand is on the outer part of the left knee. Turn, and then make a decision if you want to use your left arm upward or left hand on hip and turning. It's really up to you, and you can feel they're different poses, but they're both important and valuable. So what works for you today is where you should be allowing yourself to land. Turn for 3. Good. 2 and 1. Nicely done. We'll come out of that, come into a high plank, a low plank, elbows in, upward face breath. and downward facing dog as you breathe out. Right foot comes forward into pigeon. You could do pigeon on your back or forward lying pigeon. Here in forward lying pigeon, your right knee kind of lines up with the right wrist to begin. The right calf or shin bone can be angled downward, and your left leg is straight behind you. And then from here you come down as you like. You're flexing the right toes, drawing the left hip slightly down and the chest slightly forward. And just breathe, allowing your body to absorb the energy of embodiment, being present with you. It is a practice, and it's a really good one because the world kind of keeps us stuck swirling in our heads, and what we're asking is for more grounding, more centering. 2 more breaths here. You can stay longer if you have the time, otherwise hands are up. You're gonna roll over your left toes, use your core, send yourself back, and then swap sides. So if you're lying on your back, you simply switch legs. If you're swapping sides here, and you might notice really different each side, and that's cool. Left toes pull back. We're finding that we work with the discomfort and find our ways to relax with it. One more breath, inhale. And release. As you exhale, both hands are down, lifting up through your chest. And we'll sweep the back leg around to the front. You could sit on a blanket and use a yoga strap. We're going to do Paschimottanasana. So you're sitting on a blanket to take out the rounding or the tucking of the tailbone. It's great. And then legs are long in front of you. Take the yoga strap around the soles of your feet. Open through the chest, take a breath in, and then gently pull yourself forward so that the back of your legs can release. And you breathe here. Let the breath be big. Engage through the quadriceps, open through the toes, and push your feet into the yoga strap. Releasing the back, releasing the shoulder blades. Breathe. You can come down lower. If you get the green light, fine. If not, that's fine too. One more breath, inhale. And exhale, release it, coming up. Really good job. What you want to do now is to take a blanket. You can use the same one or a different pillow, and we'll use it for behind our heads. You can also take blocks and pop them underneath your knees for a little Shavasana. So we'll take this together, lying back down, and allowing your shoulder blades to just drop a little bit more. Legs are out to the sides of the mat so that you're really allowing your body to just process and assimilate this really important practice. We ground our bodies through these important basic poses, and then we can take that with us throughout the day. Rest. And then bend both knees. Tip over to one side. Press up to seated. Namaste. Thanks so much for practicing.